Hello, guys. This is your virtual tour of national parks. Now, you only need to watch this video if the link that I put in Canvas isn't working for you. I would much rather you go through the tour kind of on your own. This way you can kind of see what you want to see, and if you want to focus in on certain things, you can. However, I realize that not all computers may be compatible with this program. So if that's the case, that is why I created this video. So I'm going to take you through the two virtual tours that you are required to do for this week. Now, before you actually start before you actually get to the tour, remember, you have to do two things. You got to fill out, we're doing the KWL. So I need you to fill in the K part of that chart that's in the assignment. The K is what you already know. You're going to take two tours. One tour is on a glacier, and the other tour is going to be on an active volcano. So if you look on your list, you need to tell me 3 things you already know about glaciers. And then you also need to tell me 3 things that you already know about volcanoes. Now, do not write down that I don't know anything, because I know you know something. So tell me 3 things. Give me 3 sentences, glaciers, and 3 sentences for volcanoes. That'll be a total of 6 sentences, right? The second column is the W, is what you want to know. You have got to think and come up with 3 questions. 3 things that you hope that you will learn, or things that you want to know about glaciers and about active volcanoes, okay? So do not give me the I don't have any questions or I don't know, because I'm going to dock points, because we don't know everything about glaciers and about volcanoes. I know I don't, and I know you don't either. So if you don't have a question like right now, just kind of think about it. You know, maybe you've heard rumors about glaciers and volcanoes and you want to know if it's true. I mean, it doesn't have to be a complex question. I'm not asking for, something huge. Just questions you might have. But you got to come with 3. 3 for glaciers, or the environment around glaciers, like we see behind me. And 3 about active volcanoes, or the environment around volcanoes. Okay? So you got to do those 2 columns before you start the video. Okay? Don't go through the tour and then create your questions. Why? Because I realize that you may have questions that this video is not going to cover. That's definitely a possibility, okay? And that's okay. If you ask a question that's not found in the tour, no worries. The point is that you're thinking. I just want you to think, okay? I'm not expecting all of your questions to be answered through the tour. I just want you to think about these 2 topics, and just have that mindset of, okay, well, maybe I'll learn this, and it's kind of going to go from there, okay? So I have those 2 columns done. At the end of the tour, the 2 tours, then you'll do your L, which is what you've learned. And you have to give me 3 things that you've learned during the tour. So as you're going through the tour, if I were you, I would have a pencil and pen, so that when something pops up that is like, oh, that's interesting, you can pause the video and like jot it down, so that by the time you get to the end of the tour, you already have 3 things that you learned. The second thing to look out for is this. Remember, you have got to take a screenshot of primary succession, because both glacier receding and active volcanoes are perfect areas of primary succession. And in this tour, you're going to see it. Now, it's not necessarily pointed out, but you'll see it. So keep your eye open. When you see a shot that shows primary succession, I want you to pause the video, take a screenshot, and that shot you're going to include in your worksheet under the L, under what you've learned. And then under your picture, you're going to tell me how you know this is primary succession. So what in the picture told you that, okay, this is primary succession? What did you see that was like, ding, 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 primary succession? So be specific. Don't just say, because I see a rock. Okay, yeah, that's great, but give me more. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, rock and, give me more. So be a little specific. Think about what you've learned and apply it. What in this picture shows that primary succession is happening? Maybe I should say that word, that it's happening, right? Not that it's gonna happen, but that it's actually happening. You can see that in the picture. All right, so, okay, so let's get ready. Let's get ready to go on our tour.
Our national parks are wonderlands, amazing places to explore and discover. The beauty, it's obvious, but there's a hidden world you won't see on any map. To find that world, you need a guide. Park rangers know where to look, where to listen, where to climb, where to dive. Join them on an adventure to discover the parks in a completely new way. Come explore the hidden worlds of the national parks. "1,000 miles north of the continental United States lies a land where the Ice Age still lingers. Come join Park Ranger Fiona North and explore the mountains, glaciers, and lagoons of Kenai Fjords National Park.
This place is wild in the truest sense of the word. It's inaccessible in the winter, and there are only a few trails in the entire park. But the ruggedness isn't intimidating, it's inviting. The connections here are so obvious between the mountains and the ocean, the glaciers and the animals. Everything just works the way nature intended. What excites me so much about Kenai Fjords is seeing things I've never seen before. I moved here from New York City, and once I saw what it was like, I didn't want to leave. Look down. You're standing above a crevasse on Exit Glacier. Exit Glacier is one of the most visited parts of the park, but very few people get to come up here and walk out onto the ice or venture into one of its crevasses. Climb down and join me.
We're in a crevasse, about 30 feet below the surface of the glacier. It feels so still, but the ice is actually moving as it flows downhill. A week from now, this place will look completely different. So take a look around and then climb out of the crevasse to see how the glacier has receded over the years.
The mass of ice in front of you was the toe or end of Exit Glacier when I first arrived to the park. The glacier has retreated 46 feet per year on average, but in the past few years that has spiked dramatically. It's been melting about 150 feet per year. At this rate, where will the ice be 10 years from now? How long before it's not even here at all? Bear Glacier ends into its own meltwater lagoon, which is where we are right now. Take a kayak journey of your own. Witness a humpback whale soar out of the water. Watch a glacier calving huge chunks of ice into the sea. Listen to sounds of the lagoon from underneath its surface. Calving happens when chunks of icebergs break off the end or the terminus of the glacier. These icebergs can range in size from tiny pieces to floating mountains. Bear Glacier ends into its own meltwater lagoon. The thickest part of Bear Glacier is about 1,800 feet, meaning that the ice actually goes below sea level. If Bear Glacier were to ever fully recede, it wouldn't reveal land. It could leave behind a lake or lagoon, potentially a whole new arm off Resurrection Bay. Glaciers like this one are good indicators of climate change because we can track their changes over time. So when you hear about somewhere having the coldest winter on record, that's not really what matters. It's the longer trends in weather patterns that are most important, which is where we are right now. Take a kayak journey of your own. Witness a humpback whale soar out of the water. Watch a glacier calving huge chunks of ice into the sea. Listen to sounds of the lagoon from under. One of the most surreal things you'll ever see is a 40-ton humpback whale soaring out of the water. As cool as it is to watch, we don't know for sure why they breach beneath its surface. We came out here today to paddle for recreation, but Alaskan Native, Alutiiq, or Supiaq people have been coming out here for thousands of years. Kayaks were actually invented by Alaskan Natives as a mode of transportation and a way to get out and hunt for the food they needed to survive. These icebergs have calved or broken off from the face of the glacier, and then they've been carved by the water. It's kind of like we're floating around in a sculpture garden. Since most of the ice can be hidden under the surface of the water, it could flip over at any minute, so we don't want to get too close. Bear Glacier ends into its own meltwater lagoon, which is where we are right now. Take a kayak journey of your own. Witness a humpback whale soar out of the water. Watch a glacier calving huge chunks of ice into the sea. Listen to sounds of the lagoon from underneath its surface.
To visit the island of Hawaii is to take a trip back in time, when the map of the world was still bubbling beneath the surface of the ocean. Explore the land shaped by the world's most active volcano with Park Ranger Andrea Ka'avaloa Okita, who grew up with Hawaii Volcanoes National Park in her backyard.
Compared to the rest of the planet, Hawaii is very young. It's constantly changing and still growing. Pelehonuamea, the fire goddess, created these islands, and she continues to shape this place with her power. I grew up in this park and come from a family of rangers. I'm drawn to this place by how Pele's story is linked to the island's geologic history. When you're here, you're seeing her handiwork.
This magnificent Hawaiian rainforest is a vibrant ecosystem. It's home to many native plants, birds, insects, many of which can't be found anywhere else in the world. But guess what? We are standing here in this very spot 500 to 700 years ago. We probably would have been washed away by a stream of lava from this tube. Let's explore this volcano from the inside.
Lava tubes like Nahuku are the veins of a volcano, transporting lava from the heart of an eruption. When flowing lava on the surface starts to cool and solidify, it creates the ceiling. Once in the tube, lava then travels for miles and in some cases all the way to the sea. What does lava do when it runs out of land? It starts becoming it. When you're ready, let's venture to the coastal cliffs to see how new land is still being made today. Over 500 acres of new land has been added to the island in the last 30 years alone. Lava spilled over the ridgeline behind us, flowing all the way to the ocean, creating the very land we're standing on right now. And with new land comes new life. For instance, Noio birds nest in these cliffs, though they weren't always here. Change, brought by the island, created a home for them, just as she did for us. It's dawn, and you're standing at the edge of the Kilauea caldera. We're around a mile away from the Halemaumau crater, where the lava is churning about 100 feet below the crater floor. Explore Kilauea for yourself. Fly over an active lava vent. Hear the rumbling of the volcano. Watch incredible footage of flowing lava from above. Travel to 1959 and view the eruption at the Kilauea Iki crater. Pele is a transformative force. An eruption occurs, wipes out everything in its path, and the land regenerates, replacing what was lost. When lava spills out and flows over this land, changing it, you're seeing Pele's creation. Native Hawaiians honor her presence and pay her respect. It's dawn, and you're standing at the edge of the Kilauea caldera. We're around a mile away from the Halemaumau crater, where the lava is churning about 100 feet below the crater floor. Kilauea Iki erupted in 1959, shooting fountains of lava up to 1,900 feet high. People flocked to the park, jumping at the chance to view this amazing eruption with their own eyes. It was so intense that onlookers would have to step behind their vehicles to shield themselves from the heat. Explore Kilauea for yourself. Fly over an active lava vent. Hear the rumbling of the volcano. Pu'u'o has been constantly erupting since 1983, claiming over 180 buildings and burying the coastal highway in lava. In the early 90s, my family experienced its power firsthand when it claimed my childhood home. But like my ancestors, we moved on and rebuilt, just like we've done for centuries. Watch incredible footage of flowing lava from above. Travel to 1959 and view the eruption at the Kilauea Iki crater.